Hello, this is Dr. J, back with some more Let's Play Phantasy Star The End of the Millennium. Dire things have happened. We managed to breach Ezio's fort, fight our way to the man himself, only to find that he was completely impervious to all of our attacks, was able to summon some kind of horrible demon called Dark Force, and he struck down Alice with a black wave that's so powerful that no form of healing seems able to get her back on her feet. In fact, she seems to be slowly dying. So things didn't go so well last episode. However, Alice thinks that if we find Rune, who may have gone to Lydia Tower, that maybe we can put things aright. And Demi says in order to cross the strange, geologically inappropriate quicksand, that we can go to a machine area hangar, essentially, and get a Land Rover that will allow us to traverse the quicksand. So that's a recap of where we're at. If we speak to Han's fiancée here, she says, "What on earth is this illness she has? I've never seen anyone seem to be in so much pain. It's almost amazing she's still conscious. She really is strong-willed." Saya, that was her name. Blanked out on that for a second. "Alice, you've got to make it." Alice says, "Oh, Chaz, don't look so miserable," and then has a little bit of melodramatic moaning. Chaz says, "Alice, don't give up." Alright, so before we set out on the next stage of our quest, I missed a couple of things. Let's see if we can remedy that. First, I'm going to have Chaz, excuse me, teleport us back to Ido. So now that we don't have Alice in our party, let's see what people have to say who used to reference Alice when we talk to them. The guard asks why, if it isn't Chaz, where's Alice? Is anything wrong with her? Wrong is a bit of an understatement, my friend. Hi, Chaz, isn't Alice with you today? This is simultaneously kind of sad because Alice is dying and everybody's asking about her, but also because nobody gives a crap about Chaz. Everyone's just like, "Hey, Chaz, where's Alice? The person we actually all want to see." Poor Chaz. Alright, and if we go in here and talk to the fortune teller who foreshadowed Alice's dark fate, she says, "Is that right? I should have forcibly prevented her from leaving." And if we go into the giant market in the middle of town and head over here, you may remember there were a couple of absolute twits in this room who had been running up a massive in-tab that they weren't able to pay and were plotting to perhaps try to make a nighttime escape. Well, as it turns out, and I think I might have actually done this like the first time I played the game and seen this, but I had just forgotten about it. If you rest here, there is actually a scene where they try to escape during the night. It's all just black, you don't actually see anything, but you overhear their escape attempt. And of course they get caught, like a couple of nitwits. I'm going to see if I can splice in just the dialogue, because the dialogue is all there is. Like I said, it's a black screen otherwise, that you will see if you rest here, because it's kind of amusing. Okay, and also, on that subject, I somehow managed to miss the northeastern quarter of town. Up here. Across this bridge, you'll find a couple of buildings. And this lady tells us, this is the prison. You'd better not get too close. Speak to the guard. Guarding a prison is no easy job. It's so boring. I mean, I think by definition, that actually means it's pretty easy. But here's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They have been caught and imprisoned, and if we talk to them, they say, we tried to escape during the night, but we got caught. The other one says, we're ex-convicts now. No one will marry us now. Well, I think you're present convicts, actually. Also, don't worry, there's always a man more desperate than you are stupid, so I wouldn't give up hope yet. Also, there's this guy who says, blast, I'll dig a hole in the floor. If we had come here when we had Alice in our party, he basically would have cursed Alice for being the one to send him in here. So I guess he's a criminal that Alice caught. And then over here is the graveyard. If we talk to this lady who appears to have goggles or really huge glasses, she says, it's a fact that not too many people have had their bones buried here by choice. But we humans, we die when we die. True that. If we go here and examine it, Chaz just says it's a grave. Looks like a nice little cemetery, at least. It's got grass and flowers. And if we speak to this lady, she just says, humph. And Rika says, Chaz, I don't think you should get in her way when she's paying her respects at the grave. Chaz, when you've got Rika, who was literally sealed up in a biolab with nothing but a computer for company for all of her 1 year of life, giving you advice on how to be less of a social moron, well, reflect on yourself. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you, because that's what I missed here in town. So, the other thing I missed, I'll go ahead and have Chaz teleport us to Catery. There was that treasure chest in Zio's fort that we saw, but I didn't want to backtrack to figure out how to get it because Chaz had been killed. Oh, also, I've since looked up what Moondew does. It's a resurrect. So I could have resurrected Chaz, but that actually seems like it would have been a waste. I probably wouldn't have done that even had I remembered that. So anyway, this was just me being unobservant, as I sometimes am. The way to get to that treasure chest is you go up these stairs, and I thought this was a dead end. In my defense, it looks like a dead end. But no, it's a tunnel here. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this last video, but I really like this side view here, where you go through the tunnel and you see the wasteland of Motavia in the background. I actually think this is really cool. And in here is a laser sword. Now, laser sword is obviously awesome, but how good is it in terms of its stats? Huge upgrade for Chaz. I really handicapped myself by not having this. The boss fight with Juza probably would have gone better if Chaz's attack score had been like 15 points higher. Oh well, it is what it is. We're done here. Can I cast Ryuka from within a dungeon? Or do I have to Hina out first? Okay, I have to Hina out first. Which we will do. Alright. So, let us keep selecting the wrong thing. Now that we have covered the major things that I missed, let us Ryuka back to Krupp. We'll rest up, because it looks like we didn't recover our stats. And then we'll actually proceed with our quest. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our newest party member. Well, first of all, notice how quick her little feet go in order to keep up with everybody else, because she's so short. That is both hilarious and adorable. I really like that. So let's take a look at her status. She is level 12, 324 years old. Well, she is an android after all. And she's got headgear, an impactor, and titanium armor. As for her abilities, she does not have techniques because only living beings can use them, I guess, because they're psionics based. And she's an android, so... However, she does have a variety of skills. Recover, which heals the party. No, it heals herself, I'm sorry. Recover heals herself, which is important because normal healing items don't work on her. Phantasy Star is pretty good about differentiating between biological and mechanical beings like that. Medic power, which heals the party. Spark is good against enemy machines, I believe. Barrier, of course, is defensive. I don't really remember Stasis Beam, but from the sound of it, it probably stuns or paralyzes enemies, I would imagine. Okay. And what is her defense compared to everybody else? Defense 69, Rika's is 65, Chaz is 68, Grizz is 70. Let's put her in front of Rika, I guess. Grizz, Chaz, Demi, Rika. Okay. We are down Han, our main healer. Demi's medic power is pretty good, so that will help to cover the gap, but we're also down Alice, so our party is less powerful after that debacle against Zio. Anyways, let's move on. So they told us to go south of Krupp. There's kind of two forks. Out of my way, Locusta. I don't remember if we have to go west or east. I'll try east. Alright, that was correct. The machine facility dramatically rises out of the earth. Yikes, that scared me. Please, feel free to enter. More awesome tech dungeon music. Except this isn't actually a dungeon. Full heal rate here. So I guess it was pointless of me to waste some money on resting, considering there's a full heal rate inside here, but I forgot. A control key. Actually, I kind of wish I hadn't gotten the control key, because I would have liked to experiment with what happens if you don't get it. Ah well. This place is still alive. Alive is an interesting word to use for a bunch of machinery, Rika, but alright. I guess it makes sense since she was raised by a computer that is a sentient AI, or at least an extremely good approximation of sentience. It's not surprising she would regard mechanical things as alive. It has become independent from Seed and Nervous. A lot of other machines are housed here, but they haven't been used for a long time. They probably need some repairs. I have no idea what these machines are, but this is some place. You're pretty adept at handling these machines. Were you caught by Zio while you were trying to get the system back under control? Yes, that's right. Zio is very violent. Very funny. Defeating Zio is not going to solve the problem. What? Isn't the system out of control a result of Zio's doing? No, the real cause of the problem is that Zelen has been issuing abnormal commands. Impossible! Not Zelen! Zelen? What's that? Zelen is the central control for Algo Solar System's environmental maintenance systems. System. It's an orbiting station on the other side of Motavia. Wow. How are we going to get there? First, let's think about defeating Zio and stopping Nervous. Priorities, people. Yeah, you're right. It's not enough just defeating Zio. If that's the case, this makes me worry about Dark Force. Dun dun dun. There's the Land Rover. We're about to find out that Demi pretty much wants to make love to that thing. Don't worry, it'll be alright. I'll start the Land Rover up. Let's go outside. It will be waiting. Look at this luster, this massiveness. What a functionally beautiful design. Don't you find it just fascinating? Oh, yes. Down, girl. Yeah, Demi's goes a little wild around giant mobile machinery, I guess. Okay, so I actually don't want to go straight to Ladia Tower. Also, you can get into fights in vehicles, and the background music is awesome. Also, they went nuts, absolutely bananas with the animation on the control console, and it looks so cool. Oh man, there's so many great things about this game. They put so much effort into it. Also, this thing is really powerful, but we also encounter more powerful enemies while we're driving it. Let's see. That is the cave to Tono, right? Yeah, pretty sure. Alright, so the way that you deploy the Land Rover is it's actually in your inventory. Chaz carries it around in his pocket or something, I guess. Alright, so we can now cross the previously uncrossable quicksand. Man, there's a whole ocean of this stuff. Let's try out some of our special attacks, shall we? How about the Graviton bomb, or whatever? Very nice. Ha! Grasshound misses us. And just for funsies, let's try out the cluster bomb. Awesome. Man, I love this game. It's so cool. Alright. What is this nice little hamlet? Monson. Huh? You're strangers? You must have a strange sense of fun to visit Monson. I wonder what was behind those earthquakes recently. Maybe something bad is going to happen. What a mess! At that village Termi on the peninsula there, I believe they've enshrined some heroine of yore. Let me see. I think they said her name was Alice? So that's a reference to Phantasy Star 1. Alice is the protagonist of that game. Fighting against Dark Force, ultimately. Although you don't really discover that until extremely late in the game, I believe. This store's business is booming due to the earthquakes. They're taking unfair advantage of the situation and raising their prices. Price gouging, is it? Ha ha ha, if the earthquake has broken your goods, buy your replacements at this store. The prices look pretty normal to me, folks. I don't know what you're talking about. But that said, do I have any escapipes in my inventory? Yes, I do. Okay. Let's remember we've got that just in case Chaz gets KO'd or runs out of TP and we don't have anyone to teleport us out of a dungeon. Have you seen the Ladia Tower? It stands on the peninsula to the east. Not yet, but we're heading that way. I don't think there's any need to talk to everybody in town, but let's see if they have weapon and armor stores. There's an inn. I don't think we need it right now. That quicksand was just a small area, but now it's growing year by year. Presently, Monson is a deserted island on land with no interaction with any other community. Well, that sounds problematic. Abandoned house here. Those crops don't look like they're doing great. You're going to the peninsula? There's a village called Termi there, but because of the quicksand, we haven't been able to get there. I wonder if they're okay. Of course, us just walking all over the crops probably isn't helping them either. Not seeing any weapon or armor shops so far. There have been earthquakes recently. Oh, like that one? Ah! Help! Yikes! What's wrong, Grizz? Oh, I get it. Grizz is afraid of earthquakes, aren't you, Grizz? Huh? Is that true? What if I am afraid? I can't help it. Ha 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 ha! What a coward! Jesus, Rika, that is harsh, girl. So Rika occasionally has this extreme harsh bluntness, possibly coming from, having been raised by a computer and being 1 year old. But yikes. Oh, shut up. At any rate, with earthquakes happening so often like this, it's a real problem. I'm sure that the plate system is the cause of all this. Plate system? It's a system located just north of here which controls the tectonic plates of Motavia's surface. I'm sure that system is malfunctioning. Well, if that's the case, let's shut it down. What? You're going to stop these earthquakes? Oh, thank you very much. What? We're kind of busy. Please, you must stop these quakes. Please. But, thanks. Well, folks, sounds like we've been volunteered for a side quest. Danger. Cracks in the ground. No trespassing. There's a crack in the ground right in front of our house. I'm afraid that the children will fall into it. I wonder if you can get to the other side of the planet if you fall into that crack. Why don't you try it, kid? Actually, if my memory is serving me correctly, the kid really might try it later on.